I want to show you something. I recently listed this and it has 34 sales. Actually got a bestseller badge too. And this is the exact same listing. I put it out at the exact same time. It is the same exact design on the same exact mock-up with the same block of SEO, my title and my tags, and the customer pays the same exact price. So why did it do so much better here? I've been running a little test in my shop, and we're going to find out today if you're more likely to get more sales if you have free shipping in your shop or if you have your customer paying for shipping. I put 128 designs out in my shop over the course of about 6 weeks. I double listed all of them. So somewhere around 250 listings is what I put out. I've been letting them sit and just do their thing for about 4 months now. The only thing I changed when I doubled the listing was the type of shipping I was using. Real quick, super glad you're here. I'm a top 1% seller on Etsy, and now I teach everything I've learned over the course of the last 4 years right here for free on YouTube and also in my online community, the Learn and Earn Academy. If you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And if you're a regular around here, I do have some announcements, but I'll loop back to those at the end. Back to those 128 listings. Let's call the 128 listings that went out with free shipping Group A. This means the cost of shipping was baked into my prices. Out of the door, the customers paid right around $24.51 for these t-shirts. And again, that shipping charge was baked into that price. There was no separate shipping for them. Let's call the 128 listings that went out with paid shipping Group B. This means that there was a separate cost for shipping. In the drop-down menu, customers saw the price $19.52, and they were charged an additional $4.99 for shipping for each shirt that they added to their cart, which brings their total to $24.51 also, same as Group A. This means in search results, customers saw a lower price for Group B because they saw the price without the shipping cost added on. This could be great because people might interact with the listing more and click into it. Interactions with our listings are very, very good. They signal to the algorithm that people are liking our listing. And when the algorithm is signaled that people are liking our listing, the algorithm is programmed to put our listing in front of more people. But Group A, with its free shipping, has its advantages also. Customers can filter for free shipping and only view items from sellers who offer it. And that means if you didn't offer free shipping, that you wouldn't even come up in search results at all for all the customers that are using that filter. A test like this is called an A/B or split test. So I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. I'm going to tell you what our purpose in running a test like this would be in our shop. And then I'm going to tell you what my results were. So before I get to the results, go down into the comments and tell me which one you think won. Do you think the listings that had free shipping but showed up more expensive in search results did better? Or do you think the listings that had separate shipping, so customers had a separate shipping additional to the price that they saw added on to their cost when they were checking out, do you think that group did better? Go down and just comment Group A or Group B. An A/B test is also known as a split test, and it is a method of comparing two or more versions of something. In this case, it's going to be two versions of our listings to see which one performs better. By randomly showing different versions to different users, which is basically what the Etsy algorithm is going to do, you can gather data to determine which approach leads to better results for you and your shop, such as increased conversions or sales on that listing. Now, in order to do a test like this in your shop, you must only change one variable about your listing. The variables in your listing would be things like your main mock-up, Your SEO, so your title and your tags, would be another variable. Pricing would be another variable. Shipping is the variable we are testing. The design itself would be a variable. Its age, or when you listed it, would be another variable. In order to run an A/B test and actually learn something from the A/B test, you can only change one of these things. So that means you can't go into your shop and say, hey, I want to do an A/B test on all these listings that I've already posted, because then you're sending them out at different times and you really can't get a good comparison that way. So you can't decide later to run an A/B test on something you've already posted. To really do it correctly, you have to list them at the same time. Now, sometimes people use this as a means to just get more listings out onto Etsy, and this is not the strategy that you want to go with. When you do an A/B test, it should be intentional. The purpose of that A/B test is to actually learn something. And once you learn that thing, you can make a decision based upon what you learn and apply it to your shop on scale moving forward. And then you can go on and do a new A/B test, learn something else new, and then apply that to your shop. And just imagine after doing 4, 5, 6 A/B tests, how much smarter you're going to be. Imagine the impact that's going to have on your future with Etsy as you continue to fine-tune your Etsy shop and have it using the most amazing strategies that get you the very best results. Now, that also means you need to track your results, and I don't do this in a fancy way at all. For today's purpose, and the way I always go ahead and take a look at this, is that I always separate in my shop 2 folders. And so while I'm doing a particular A/B test, and I only run one at a time. So I was running free shipping versus paid shipping. I had a folder in my shop that I put all of group A in. So my listings that had free shipping, and the shipping cost was baked into my prices. And then group B had its own folder. You could call this simply group A and group B. I don't say free shipping on the folder, because whatever you put on the folders is going to be visible to your customers. When the test is done, I can just reorganize those listings. If it was a teacher design, then I'll reorganize it into my teacher folder, so on and so forth. And then I can use those 2 same folders for the next test that I do. Now, before I finish the test and reorganize my listings into the correct folders to try to keep my shop a bit organized, I look at these results. So today, what we're going to go over is the total amount of views that folder A got and the total amount of views across all of the listings that folder B got. We're going to compare that. I've also counted up all of the sales that came from folder A, free shipping, and then we will compare that to how many sales came from folder B, paid shipping folder. And well, one more thing before I show you the results that I don't know I made really clear just yet. The reason you can only change one variable in your A/B test is because, remember, we're supposed to learn something from this test. But if I was changing the shipping, and then I also changed something else about this listing, perhaps I also changed the mock-up photos, well, then I don't know which thing got the different results. One folder could be blowing up with sales while the other group or folder might be a dud. And I would have to conduct yet another test to pinpoint, well, was it the photo that I used or was it the shipping method that I used? So you only want to change one thing. And that way, when you're done, you have conclusive results of, hey, this thing got more traction across this group of listings. So I think I'm pretty good with implementing this in my shop moving forward. Now for the results. For group A, our free shipping group, the group that had the price of shipping baked into the prices that the customer saw in search results. I counted up the views in the last 30 days across all 128 listings, and all together they had 505 views. Then I counted up the sales from all 128 listings, and all together it had 94 sales. All 94 sales came from just 16 of the listings. All of the others did not sell at all. So that is to say 112 of the listings had no sales through them. I take a moment to say this because I think we are expecting more of our listings to sell for us than what actually will. You're going to sell from a very small percentage of what you put out, which is one of the reasons it's so important to keep taking your swings and to get a lot out there. That's what's going to help you get momentum in your shop and scale. Okay, back to the results. In Group B, we had our paid shipping for our customer. They saw cheaper prices in search results, and when they clicked in, they were hit with a shipping charge, $4.99 per shirt. Now, the total amount of views for this group was 937 views. It had a lot more views in the last 30 days than Group A. But perhaps the more important metric here would be the sales. And this is where things get a little wacky and unexpected. There were exactly, across these 128 listings, 74 sales. So while there were twice as many views for this group, there were 20 fewer sales. The sales in this group came from just 10 of the listings. So let's dive a little deeper. Let's look at the top performers from each of these groups. So here's our top performer for the free shipping, Group A. This one has 49 visits in the last 30 days. It did wind up with 34 sales and a revenue of $1,003. This one is responsible for, again, 34 sales out of the 94. So 1/3 of the sales came from here. And then there was pretty much of a sprinkling of sales amongst those other 15 listings. Over here, let's look at separate shipping. I had one listing that sold 17 times with a revenue of $428, and then another listing that sold 12 times with a revenue of $298. So out of those 74 sales that I got out of the Group B, we have 29 of them coming from right here with these two listings. Now, remember how we had such a huge number of visits in the last 30 days for paid shipping. So I'm going to show you some of the biggest reasons or listings that attributed to that, but they didn't actually land me any sales. So that was interesting. We've got this one here with 367 visits. And then another one here with 127 visits. And then we had that one over there from the 12 sales that had a whopping 217 visits also. Just these three listings here that we're looking at are responsible for over half of the views that came from the paid shipping group. So, which do you think is better? Free shipping or paid shipping? Now, before you run out and make any big changes to your shop, I'll tell you what I think. Firstly, I do not think that the results were drastic enough. So I would say before making any big changes in my shop, I'd probably do this test again over another 150, 200 designs and see if I get any more drastic results. Also, some things to note specifically about my situation is that my shop is usually free shipping. So I've made a change in my shop, and I'm not sure. I don't know if that has something to do with the algorithm, where that algorithm knows that those listings that I put out with paid shipping are different from my norm, and perhaps that plays a part in my results. Now, what I know it wouldn't be playing a part in is the fact that that folder did get more views and fewer sales than the free shipping group, Group A. That has nothing to do with the algorithm. That is customers interacting, and that was their behavior. So that was interesting. Something else I want you to think about when you're running an A/B test like this is to pay attention to your different niches, because I have gained insights specifically on my niches. There is something really interesting that happened when I ran a test like this with profit pricing versus break-even pricing. So pricing that has my profit worked in, and then pricing that is breaking even. So I'm showing up pretty cheap in search results, and after a few sales through one of those listings, you bump it up to profit pricing. But I found very interesting results when I ran that test. There were actually very drastically different results, and the teacher niche did something different than all my other niches. So it changed the way I list in the teacher niche and in all my other niches. Like, my strategy is different with teachers than it is with everybody else. If you enjoyed this video, you should so watch that video next. The results were way more interesting than the ones that I just shared with you. Also, if you liked this video, you might be the kind of person that would really enjoy the Learn and Earn Academy. I will leave it linked down below. Now, I did tell you if you stuck around to the end, I would loop back with a couple of announcements. One, if you purchased my general niche calendar, I hope that it's helping you make so much money, and I hope you're enjoying the video resource that I added to it. I know that I told everybody that I'm going to have a live where if you purchased that calendar by this past January, you would be invited to a special session. And I had intended to have that session by this past April. I am planning it. It will be soon. I'm sorry it's a little later than we thought. Also, on that note, if you are on the fence about picking up that calendar, I've discovered I can't actually only send that email out to certain groups. So anyone who has purchased the general niche calendar before I send the link out will actually be invited to that special session. I won't be mentioning that all over the place, just at the end of this video. So if you're here and you haven't picked it up yet and you want to be part of that session, you still could be. Also, we have our teacher niche calendar, and we're going to be scheduling a special session for that one as well. And the next one I'm working on is the nurse niche calendar. If you have anything you'd like me to specifically be covering in that, I'm almost done with it. Leave me a comment down below. All right, I'll see you in that other video about A/B testing, but of course not until after that tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away.